Hi, Randy with Triple R Prospecting. Call me the Dirt Slinger. Looks like today you're going to have to call me the Snow Slinger. I'm not going to be able to get out and do much metal detecting today. Just thought I'd give you a little bird's eye view of the snow we're getting here. You can see on my little windmill over there, we're up to about 4 to 5 inches. And usually the snow doesn't come down straight like this with the big flakes. It's usually blowing sideways. So I hope I don't jinx it and say I hope the wind don't blow today. So I thought I would go ahead and show you a little bit about our gold prospecting, means I can do that inside. Show you how I screen down the concentrates that I bring home from the summer. And I do that in my basement. So come on down and we'll get started on the gold prospecting. Alright, we're back down in my basement. This is some buckets of concentrates from dredging and just screening that I bring down so I have something to do when it's like it is outside. Most of these have already been through the 1/4 inch screen, and what I do is, this is a 30 mesh screen, just a little smaller than the 1/4 inch, and this is a 50 mesh, and I have been going through some of it already. I've got about a bucket of it done already. I'll kind of show you how I'm doing that. I don't want to bore you with screening all day. So everything that stays on top of this screen, I put in these coffee canisters, which are pretty handy to keep things separate. And everything that goes through the 30 mesh and lands on top of the 50 mesh goes in here. And then everything that goes through the 50 mesh, this screen here, goes down in the bucket. And that's pretty small stuff down there. When I get it done and put out somewhere, that way you can see it better. It's hard to see in that black bucket. So this is some of the equipment that I use. Like I said, I got a bunch of these canisters from a cafe here in the local grocery store here in town. Like I said, they work really good. This is my blue pan that I use sometimes when I'm up in the prospecting up in the mountains, to get down to where I can see the fine gold and the black sand, and I can snuffer that up. And this little level is to level my blue bowl. A lot of snuffer bottles there. The spoon there is to take the concentrates out of these coffee canisters to put them in a blue bowl. Pretty simple operation. Got to have your magnifier. Pretty handy little thing. I use these wire brushes to kind of clean out the screens. They get plugged up. And this is how I dry my gold. I don't usually have a lot at one time. So I just plug this candle warmer in, set it on there, and it doesn't take very long. I try to get as much water out of it as I can. And then I just set it in there, and then I got this little funnel that puts in my vial. Pretty simple little operation. And I'll take you over here to my blue bowl. I bought this water sink cabinet here at Lowe's, I believe it was. Brought it home and built this frame for it to set down in. And I made this frame for my blue bowl, which works out pretty good. I can set my blue bowl on there and level it and go to town with it. I use a battery for that. Battery's for the pump. If you can see it down in there, it sets down. I just go above the pump a little bit with the water. It pumps it through into my blue bowl. I got a little surprise in here. This is some gold that I dumped in there out of my snuffer bottle from test panning this summer if we can get away from the glare. That's just from test panning, and like I said, I'm going to get that out of there and I'm going to do some more screening, show you how I do the screening, and then kind of show you how this blue bowl works. It's kind of hard to do with this glare in there, but there's some pretty nice gold. A lot of small stuff. That's about all we get out here. So let me get set up and kind of show you how I do the screening, and then I'll get this out of the blue bowl here, and then we'll get started on running some more through it. Okay, I'm set up here. Hope you can see everything. Like I said, I have these 50 mesh and 30 mesh screens. We'll put the 50 there and the 30 on top. And like I said, I've done pretty much this whole bucket. I don't want to bore you screening all day because it does take quite a while. I'll just take my spoon. Now this is dry. It has to be dry, dusty dry to work. You can do it either way. You can do it with a garden hose and screen it out. But as you can see outside, it's not very nice weather out there. And I'm going to only put about 5 spoonfuls in there. And then you just basically just rock it back and forth just to get the heavies to the bottom. Then you kind of turn it back and forth. Just get it worked around on there, so like everything that's smaller than this 30 mesh is going to land on top of the 50 mesh screen. And every once in a while you'll have some bigger rocks that you really don't want in there, so you can kind of pick them out of there. They won't hurt anything going through that blue bowl. So you just do that pretty vigorously. It's kind of like dry rocking up in the mountains. Just got to be dry. And that's probably pretty good. We'll get my bucket up here or can up here that says 30. It says plus 30 on it. And we'll work it down. Get it down to the corner here, and then we'll just dump it into this one. All that bucket is only about 3/4 full, and I think I got 6 of the ones that of the canisters full of the plus 30. And we'll make sure we got it all out of there. I don't know if you can see it, but them screens get kind of plugged up. So every once in a while I'll take one of these wire brushes and kind of see if I can get some of that out of there. I've had these screens for several years. It might be time to get some new ones. And just dumping it in there. And now you got the plus 50 on there, and you do the same with it. Shake it around. You probably don't have to do this quite as long because you've been shaking it around with the other screen on top of it. And then you just kind of shake it to the side. I don't know if you can see it, but you can start seeing the black sand kind of hanging up in there. You can see how black that is there. So that's the good stuff there. And where the gold is so small out here, you're not going to find, you'll find some gold that'll stay on top of this screen, but you probably won't find many that'll stay on top of the 30. So once again, you kind of knock it to one side. And you put her in your plus 50 canister. And then everything that's too small for the plus 50 goes down into the bucket. We'll do one more here and then I'll shut her off and finish this up, and then we'll start running it through the blue bowl so you can kind of see how it works. Alright, just back and forth. Just move that sand around. Everybody has their own ways of processing their gold. So this is just kind of how I do it. My brothers kind of do it the same way too. A lot of this is concentrates from dredging and sluicing here up in the mountains in Colorado. You can do it, just do it however you want. Shake it, bounce it around, just don't tip your bucket over and lose everything on the floor. So we'll get her all down there again. Dump her in here. And do the 50 screen. Knock her down. And put her in your 50 container. Alright, that's how I do my screen, and I don't have much left in here. I'll just go ahead and do that, and we'll start running it through the blue bowl. Alright, I got the rest of that bucket screened down and emptied the black bucket out. Kind of wanted to show you what that 100 plus 100 looks like. That's really pretty fine stuff. So I'm going to dump it in one of my canisters up here that I got marked. I'm going to dump all the plus 30 back in this bucket, and we'll kind of look at it later. I want to run the plus 50 and the plus 100 through the blue bowl first, because like I said, not a lot of gold. You're not going to find a lot of gold on top of that plus 30. Let me get these all dumped. You can kind of hear my pump running in the background for my blue bowl. I'll get this all dumped and put in canisters, and we'll get started running it. Okay, I dumped all the plus 30 back into the bucket, and you'll see that it filled it almost to 3/4 again. This is just all I got for my plus 50, and then you saw in the little blue pan there, that's what I got for my plus 100. We'll run this plus 50 first. You can normally run the heavier stuff first. It just takes a little more water to move everything. And once you get this done, you can turn the water down to do the next step, like the plus 50, and all the way down to the 100. That way, all the heavier stuff will stay when you turn the water level down, and then it'll wash all the lighter stuff away and keep the lighter gold in there. Okay, we're ready to set up the blue bowl. You see, notice I have my little level down there, and I just set it right on the middle. And you probably can't read them, but I have marked the sides of the bowl in several places. One there, One here, one there, one there. The bottom line down here is 100 and the top line is 50. So when you're running your screenings, when you're doing the 50 or higher, you can run it on the 50 or just a little bit above. And when you're running the 100 or below, you can kind of run it right on the 100 line or a little bit below. And those lines all the way around, if you got to measure it out right, kind of help you notice if it's level. And that's one thing, you want to make sure it's pretty level. So we'll take this off, set it aside, and we'll kind of go over things here again. What I did is that pipe that you see coming up the middle, that white pipe, is actually a sink drain pipe. And I've run it, it fits just perfect inside the blue bowl there and runs up, and I elbowed it out. And it comes over here, and all my black and light sands go down into this bucket. You can see some in there already from running before. It kind of helps keep the sink water clean, so you're not running all that black sand and stuff through your pump and back through your blue bowl. And of course, you know, you got to have some of that great stuff called jet dry. You just put a little bit in there. I put a little bit in the bucket, and I will put a little bit in the blue bowl just for starters. That way it gets all circulated through. And there's my battery hookup. And down below here, I figured, well, how am I going to get all the water out of my sink without running it over everywhere? So what I did was I put a pretty good sized tub under here, and I put a sump pump in there, and you notice I've got a garden hose running out. Well, once that tub gets full, it won't get full until I actually want to drain the sink up here to clean the water. Well, I can take that hose there and set it in a bucket and fill buckets and take them outside and dump them. And I run power, the sump pump power over there to that power strip, and then I can turn it on and off when I need to run my buckets outside. So what we'll do is I'm going to start running the 50 plus 50 first, and you really want to run that stuff wet. You don't want to put it in there dry. So before we get started, I'm gonna put some water in my little coffee canisters here. I'm gonna put some water in that so it's wet, and then it's not really that great to put dry into the water there. If it's wet first, it works a lot better. So we'll fill that up and we'll start running. Okay, this little dial here is what turns the water on that goes into the blue bowl, and you can make adjustments with it, turning it closed or open. Right now you can see the water, I've got it right at about the 100 mark, so we'll open her just a little bit more. We can get it up to that 50. And this kind of, you can see how it kind of works. It does a vortex and runs all the light stuff up the cone and out into the pipe that I have underneath. There's the 50s I wet down, a 50 concentrate. And there it goes into the bucket. All the black and heavy stuff goes down into the bottom, and the water runs over the side, and I'm recycling it. And we're right on the 100, so we can open it just a little bit more, and we'll get started. Okay, we got her up to the 50 mark, and I'm getting my spoon here, and we'll start putting it in there. Every once in a while, once you start putting material in there, you'll probably have to adjust your water level. It's getting a little bit high, so I'm going to shut it down just a little bit. Try to keep her close to that mark as you can. And like I said, it's a lot better if you use wet material. So we'll just slowly dump it in there. You see all that light stuff kind of floating there. See how it moves up that center. And goes right on out. You can kind of see the black sand accumulating over here. It'll eventually work it all to the center and go right up and out. But you can keep putting her in there. And if you're lucky, you'll start seeing some gold build up right in through here, and you'll see it out here on this outer edge as all that light stuff moves away. Sorry about that glare, there isn't a lot you can do about it. Seems to be right where you want to look all the time. It's time consuming, but what else do you have to do when there's 6 inches of snow outside? The more material you put in there, you'll see the water level goes down, so that's what you got to kind of watch every once in a while, adjust it a little bit. I'm probably not going to video this whole container here. I don't want to bore you. I'm starting to see a little bit of gold showing up. We'll go ahead and do a few more spoonfuls, and then I will let it clean out pretty good, and then we can kind of see how that gold accumulates in there. And we'll let that clean out. And I see some starting to show up over there on that side. I don't know if you can see it or not. And once we get it cleaned down kind of towards the center there, we'll probably be able to see a little better. I got too much material in there now, and it's slowing way down, so I have to turn it up a little. Sometimes it'll do that. I got a battery charger hooked up to that battery. I probably should plug it in, that way it's charging the whole time. Sounds like it's running down a little. Sometimes you can kind of help it along. Don't get too wild with it. You don't want to mess up the vortex. Okay, now that black sand is kind of cleaning off, you can see it kind of build up over there. It's cleaning off back here. You can start seeing that gold build up behind it. She's getting a little high there. It's about ready to run over. I better slow her down a little. But that black sand just kind of keeps working around there and going up the center and over the top and down into my bucket over there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some gold in there. It's not a lot, but we have fun doing it. I'll kind of let some of that run off yet again and get my snuffer tube here and kind of put it all in one spot, and maybe we'll be able to see a little bit better. Well, I might show you how I can do that. You kind of blow it away with your snuffer tube. What that does is it kind of resets and lets that lighter stuff get in next to that cone, so it'll go up and that gold kind of stays out away from the center there. You have to do that a few times just to kind of get the gold away so that black sand can work in there, and then go ahead and work on up. So that's the blue bowl process, and that's how I get it down to get all that fine gold and the bigger pieces. Get it out of that black sand. It works pretty good. So we'll shut her off for now, and when I get some more screen down and from the stream up there, then we'll show you another video. Thanks for watching. And make sure you subscribe and like. Have a good day.